รายการต่อไปนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
สนับสนุนโดย World Camera กันเองทุกเรื่องกล้องและการถ่ายภาพ AIS 4G Advanced 4G ที่เร็วที่สุดจาก AIS
President Trump said that the main reason he decided to strike at the Syrian airfield was the pictures he saw of children being killed by chemical weapons. But the Russian government seems to have said that no, there was no chemical weapon at all. What, in fact, is the real story?
Let me tell you several things. Point number one, of course, it is very good that the American leader is a very emotional and a very kind person. And he has sympathy for the children who are suffering. Let me just add to that that children are suffering in many places in our world, and sometimes under the American bombings.
Yeah. Now the position that the United States take and the Russian side take in Syria is on opposite sides. The Russian president says that President al-Assad must stay. President Trump says he must go. What's going to happen? Because both sides are very strong, Russia and the United States, and they are now in a state of confrontation. Will war break out, you think, between you and the United States?
If you allow me, I will correct your understanding of the situation.
Please do.
Russia and the United States are not in confrontation.
No?
No. Russia has never said Assad should stay. Our position is that the future of President Bashar Assad should be decided, must be decided by the people of Syria. This is why we stood so firmly in favor of national reconciliation.
But statements from the Secretary of State, Tillerson, and from the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, especially Nikki Haley, she said that top priority is to get Assad out. With Assad in, there is no hope of peace in Syria. Mr. Tillerson may be giving a little bit different statement, saying that the defeat of ISIS is still on top of the agenda. But he also says that Russia is supporting the murderer. He called Assad murderer. So obviously you are in different positions. How can you say that you're not in different positions?
Very good song. Many years ago, one of the reggae stars of Jamaica sang, everybody is talking about crime, crime, but tell me, who are the criminals?
Yeah, who are the criminals?
Who are the criminals?
Today, who are the criminals in Syria today?
Today I read a statement of the minister, the foreign secretary of the United Kingdom, Mr. Boris Johnson, who encouraged more airstrikes against Syria.
Yeah.
My suggestion to you and the users of your Facebook page, don't listen to them.
Don't
listen to them.
Don't listen to Boris Johnson.
Listen. Let's try to analyze this crazy idea to make an airstrike against Syria. Excuse my language.
Yes, go ahead.
From another perspective, why did Mr. Donald Trump decide to do so?
Why? Yeah. Good question. No one knows so far.
Several months ago, he was saying that, well, Mr. Assad is a reality. He's the president of a country. Syria is fighting terrorism. Terrorism is our major goal.
Yes.
Combating terrorism.
Yeah.
Fighting, defeating
Yep.
terrorism is our major goal. So it looked like he was not very disturbed by the fact that for the time being, or for some time in the future, Mr. Bashar al-Assad will continue to be the president of the Syrian Arab Republic. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Everyone is asking that question.
Okay, so let's
You have
try
your own
to
theory? You have
make an analysis together.
Okay.
If we try to analyze the situation from the point of view of the foreign policy necessities, the change of the international situation, we will continue to be puzzled, like you are asking me this question.
Yes.
Let's try to have a look at it from the perspective of the domestic
American domestic politics.
Yes. Donald Trump, and I would not reveal a big secret, is now in a very delicate situation.
Very. Locally.
He was elected president
Yes.
by the majority of the voters,
Yes.
but not of the electorate.
Right.
And there's still many people and very powerful political forces, like the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And the major mass media of the United States, like CNN.
Yeah. New York Times, Washington Post.
He still faces the very tough opposition from them. And his first decisions and actions did not bring this part of the American political circles to the reconciliation with Mr. Donald Trump. They still refuse to recognize him as a winner and as the fully legitimate president of the United States. And the more Mr. Trump is doing, the worse the opposition he finds in different sectors of the American society. Well, America is an old democracy, and it's a very sophisticated mechanism.
Yeah.
I think they have the best political engineers in this country, and they, of course, were not idling for the last 100 days.
No, no, they have been very busy, very active.
Right, and I presume that they may have given him an advice. Stop focusing on the domestic politics, although it is so very important, and this is what the president is supposed to do first and foremost, especially after announcing that America should be great again, not by being the policeman, the sheriff of the world, but by bringing the jobs back to the United States, by rectifying the mistakes made by the previous administration. You know all that stuff. So maybe the advice which he received from his advisors and political analysts and political technologists was that he should do something to show to the American people that
he's a strong leader.
He's tough. Yes, he's a strong leader. That he can be resolved to take action, and that he can achieve very easy victory by using the American force. Maybe he was stemming from the assumption that an airstrike against a weak and war-torn country like Syria could win him a lot of points, especially with the democratic critics of Donald Trump, who still wished to see America having strong positions in regional conflicts and so on.
President Putin is also very tough. He's talking tough. And he says that if the Americans bomb Syria again, that will cross the red line, and the Russians and the Iranians, having a joint command now with the Syrian government, will respond with force. Does that mean that war is breaking out?
สนับสนุนโดยยูโรเค้กอร่อยทุกที่ทุกเวลาพรีเมียมเอาท์เล็ตแฟคทอรี่เอาท์เล็ตของแบรนด์เนมระดับพรีเมียม
President Putin is also very tough. He's talking tough. And he says that if the Americans bomb Syria again, that will cross the red line, and the Russians and the Iranians, having a joint command now with the Syrian government, will respond with force. Does that mean that war is breaking out?
To be honest, I have not seen the statement of the President of Russia.
It is a joint official statement, not quoting President Putin, but it's an official statement by the joint command.
Well, of course, we are coordinating efforts with the Syrian government, with the Iranian government. We are in touch with our allies. We are talking to other stakeholders, like Turkey. We are in constant communication with our Chinese friends. Well, of course, nobody wants a real war. This will be a disaster. So let's stop even thinking about it. Of course, the Russian troops are in Syria.
You send warships to the Mediterranean too, more warships.
But let me tell you what we will really are going to do. What we are going to do in Syria is to, first of all, to continue our support to the Syrian troops in the execution of the counter-terrorism operation. What we are going to do is to strengthen the anti-air force capability of the Syrian troops. What we are really going to do is to ensure security and safety of our pilots, of our officers and soldiers, which are located at our naval base in Tartus and air base in Khmeimim. That's it. This is why Russia is now taking additional precautions in terms of the safety of security of our troops and in terms of enhancing the capability of the Syrian army, which is
against airstrikes.
Yes, against airstrikes and against the terrorists, because the war with the terrorists continues in Syria. Syria has not been completely liberated, free from the presence of the terrorist forces. So this is what we are going to focus on, and this is what we are going to discuss with the Americans. Another thing that we are going to discuss is how the two major powers, which have the common goal in Syria, which are projecting its military power to defeat terrorist organizations, the so-called Islamic State. How can we avoid misunderstanding and possible accidents? You may have heard that after the Americans sent their missiles to the Syrian territory, we withdrew from the memorandum of understanding we signed with the Americans on the avoidance of accidents between the American and Russian troops. And this is very dangerous. And I have a feeling that it is not only the Russian side which understands the danger, but also the American side. Because if something bad happens, I don't want to talk about it. I don't wish to imagine a situation like this. But
terrible.
That would be.
We don't want to see American and Russian planes colliding over Syrian sky and shooting at each other. So you are what? Cautiously optimistic, or are you pessimistic? Between optimism on this side, between pessimism on this side, where are you? Somewhere in the middle?
I would prefer to be an optimist because
you are a diplomat.
Credo. This is my credo. Yes, every situation gives me more chances than a feeling of crisis. I still believe that even if we are moved closer to a crisis, to some kind of a red line, we should have more optimism, because otherwise we will not be able to achieve progress. We touched on North Korea, and I want to say just a few words about the threat situation in North Korean Peninsula, in Korean Peninsula is posing to all the neighboring countries and the whole region and the international community. This is a very complex problem. The problem that cannot be resolved overnight by one action or one set of policies. We tried different things. Negotiations, six-party talks. The American partners tried strengthening its military alliance with Japan and South Korea. Military exercises were increased in its intensity, the number of troops. Now we see that the American warships are heading to the Korean Peninsula. We tried many things, but none of those things led to a solution of the crisis. We are now analyzing the true interests of Russia and the United States. We can stop hoping that finally the leaders of our countries will see more necessity to cooperate in coping with the acute challenges, rather than to continue those confrontational rhetorics. If we take North Korea, of course we made our position very clear. We condemn the new tests of nuclear weapons and new missile launches by North Korea, and we supported all the Security Council resolutions toughening international sanctions against North Korea. But at the same time, we're saying to our American partners and their allies in the region, don't try to provoke North Korea. This is a road to nowhere. By organizing provocative military exercises, by deploying the THAAD anti-ballistic missile system in South Korea. The United States and the other allies are only aggravating the situation. This will not lead to the outcome that you are striving for.
No.
We should have a balanced approach, and we should see that the North Korean government is continuing its policy, being pushed by the Americans, whom they don't trust, by the situations like the airstrike against Syria. The North Korean friends, we are not supporting them. I'm just quoting them. Look what the Americans did to Syria.
They could do the same thing to us.
They could do the same thing to us. We need to defend ourselves. How can we defend? We're a small nation.
Yes.
Nobody likes us. But we are a proud nation. We have our own thinking. We have our own way of life. We have our own system. We are a legitimate government. We are a sovereign country.
Yes.
Nobody can teach us what we should do. And we need to defend ourselves. The only way to defend is to
develop
nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, to strengthen our military capability, our defense capability, and not to allow anybody even think about
attacking us.
North Korea. Well, do we support this logic? Of course not. But should we face the reality? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. We would be idealists if we believe that by pushing, by squeezing, by squaring, by ostracizing, by isolating North Korea, we will achieve a result. So our proposal is, let's sit down and start another round of multilateral talks.
Six-party talks should resume.
Six-party talks should resume. We may find new incentives for North Korea. We may find new forms of reaching agreements or building trust between the parties. We may incorporate North Korean government into some kind of multilateral cooperation, economic, energy, transport. We should develop, elaborate confidence-building measures. There's so many options on the table, but the military option is not an option.
No, it's not.
And it should be removed from the table completely. So this is why I try to be optimistic about the possible cooperation between Russia and the United States.
Both in Syria and both in over North Korea issue.
Yeah, and in many other regions. We are big countries. We possess nuclear weapons. We are permanent members of the United Nations Security Council.
Sure.
We bear huge responsibility for peace and security in the world. We cannot allow our emotions to prevail over our major strategic issues and our obligations before the international community.
You remember President
ช่วงหน้า
Trump's statement that we asked China to help us to solve the North Korean issue. But if China cannot help us on this issue, we will do it our own way. We will chart our own course. What does that mean? You remember President Trump's statement that we asked China to help us to solve the North Korean issue. But if China cannot help us on this issue, we will do it our own way. We'll chart our own course. What does that mean to you?
I like the first part of this quotation more than the second.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But when this is the first time that an American president says that we will take our own action on North Korea without China's participation. That is a very dangerous statement for me because it means that President Trump may make decisions that will have no participation from China, Russia, and any other countries. And with the bombing of Syria, that statement becomes a major example of what he might do in North Korea. Because he said that before the bombing of Syria. And then the airstrike on Syria took place. And then Xi Jinping visited Trump. And the discussions there did not end with any agreement on the North Korean issue either. With Mr. Tillerson stating again that if China does not coordinate with us on North Korea, we will, he's used the word, chart our own course. What does it mean to you?
It means to me only one thing. Post-Cold War world has proved to be the world that we don't know very well. It has proved to be multipolar, polycentric, non-polar, chaotic, whatever you call it. But it is different from the world that we lived in during the Cold War and for the first 15 years after the Cold War.
Yeah.
This is a world which is very complex and very intertwined.
Yes.
The world in which all the actors...
Would you use the word chaotic too?
I would not use the word chaotic. I like polycentric or multipolar more.
Yeah.
But indeed, there's so many actors which are taking part in the political processes alongside the governments. They are non-governmental organizations, mass media holdings, multinational companies, terrorist organizations. We have international organizations, international groupings, like-minded countries, interest-based coalitions. This is becoming a very unknown terrain for all of us. But one thing is evident about this new world we are living in, that on the one hand it has become more dangerous, as you rightly pointed out at the beginning. On the other hand, we are all linked with each other somehow. And any action that one country or one actor is taking would lead to a reaction. And most probably, if this is an action to infringe somebody's interests, it will fire back. Maybe not directly, but indirectly, through many, a chain reaction. It will boomerang against you. So you are not safe. By you, I mean countries,
anyone,
non-governmental organizations, multinationals, mass media, whoever. You are not alone in this world.
No
if you think that you are alone, that means that you are not very adequate in terms of the perception of this situation around.
You're naive.
You're naive. Or you are too arrogant.
Or too arrogant.
Which is,
you think you know everything.
Dangerous as well. So we are all interrelated with one another. And this is the new reality that we have to face. Another thing about this very strange world that we are living in is that there's no problem in this world which can be resolved by one country.
No.
They should be tackled by the whole international community, and we should be one in facing those challenges and coping with those challenges. So when you are saying that there are statements from some politicians that they can resolve a very complex and a very dangerous issue by themselves, all alone, without consultation or participation of other countries. Well, it sounds at least silly. If we use other terminology, unheard of, unbelievable, incredible.
Yes.
Not serious.
No, I saw a story just now that President Putin has ordered the Russian Air Force to be prepared for a time of war. Is it that kind of thinking now in Russia that you have to be ready for war?
Russia is a peaceful nation. We are not for the further aggravation of the tension internationally or with any particular country. We have fought many wars, and all of them were started by our foes against us. We could have suffered terrible losses, like during the Second World War. But at the end of the day, Russia has won all the wars. Russia has defeated all its enemies. Russians do not want to see a new war. This is for sure. So if somebody tells you that Russia is a country which is instigating hostilities or trying to start a new Third World War, don't believe this person, because such a person just do not understand the mentality of the Russian people. We've lost so many lives in the 20th century. We want peace. We need development.
But if need be, you would be ready to fight a war?
Absolutely. If Russia is always ready. You know the Russian character.
Sure. I know you, so
we are very, very nice people.
Nice people, but if you are,
if we are bullied by somebody, and we understand that the truth is being violated, that something unfair is happening.
You think you can?
Our position is not political correctness. We stand up and fight.
You stand up and fight. And you think you can win this war too? If a war breaks out with the United States?
There will be no war. This is my answer.
There will be no war?
No war.
Why? Why not? How can Russia prevent a war?
Nobody wants it.
I know, but accidents happen.
Nobody wants the war. We will not have a war. We will find a way to sort out our differences. I'm not naive to say that there will be harmony after we finish this round of bickering with the United States and NATO and the European Union. Sooner or later, all this will subside.
Sooner or later, because to nobody's interest.
To nobody's interest, and we'll become partners again, and we'll work for the benefit of our countries and the international community. But I'm not naive to say that the harmony will prevail and we'll have identical positions on all the issues with our friends in the United States, European Union, China, India, ASEAN. We are all different, but we should and we will find more commonalities and more reasons to be together rather than to be adversaries.
So we expect President Putin to talk to President Trump and reach some common understanding to prevent further aggravation of the world situation.
I hope so, Konstantichai.
Yeah.
Like yourself, I hope that we will be able to find a solution to the situation that we found ourselves in. This is not the first time happening in the human history. This is not a confrontation or a crisis. We're facing the unavoidable. We still have many common interests, and we have a good reason to work together. I think as an idea to countries big and small in this difficult situation, just a suggestion, just thinking out loud. We should not be driven in our conclusion, in our actions, in our statements by fake news.
Fake news.
You're fighting against fake news, I know. Yes. In this, Russians and Thais are one.
Yes.
Like in many other things.
That's right. That's right.
We should not be driven by other people's thinking. Think for yourself. Analyze. Compare. Come to your own conclusions.
But we need facts. We need facts from all sides.
We need our own position. Even sometimes when other countries are trying to influence us and to impose their mentality, their position on us, I would urge all the honest people around the world, think independently, try to get to the point, to understand the reason, to analyze the rationale, to make your own conclusion and understanding based on facts, and also listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
Listen to your heart.
People cannot be deceived just by saying that, oh, this is a bad guy and this is the good guy. Please kill the bad guy, support the good guy.
No.
You know, if your heart tells you that something's wrong, probably he's lying. Probably he's having something in mind. Probably there's some other interests that are driving him. Please be careful.
Be careful. Always
this is my message to the users of your Facebook.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Ambassador.